Hey, I'm Bill Squire. I'm a comedian, and I have this material about my mom using the C word, and it gets weird, and I love it so much. And this is the evolution from like the first time I told the joke to a more current version of it, and I hope you like it because each time there's something a little bit different, and then sometimes I'll do like a callback. I involve the audience. It's interesting, I think. So I hope you enjoy it too. Thanks.
And now my mom tries to hang out with me and my sister because we don't go to church anymore, and she likes to misbehave with us, but she doesn't know how to misbehave. She's like a homeschooled kid that's going to senior year of high school. Just like, hey, you guys want to come over to my house after school? We'll do some mazes and maybe make some pudding. Like, no, that's not what high school kids do. Like, well, that's what we did in my house, and we had a good time doing it. Well, great, my little sister's math homework. It's going to be fun. Well, we're not going to your house. That's how my mom tries to misbehave. She doesn't know how to do it, and then she takes it too far. Because we were all hanging out, me, my sister, my mom. We hear this news story about a guy that put a camera in a bathroom so he could film women going to the bathroom. And we're all disgusted. I was like, that's gross. And my sister's like, yeah, I gotta be careful when I go to the bathroom, make sure I look for cameras so that doesn't happen to me. And my mom wants to get on the action. She knows my dad's not around. She's like, yeah, that guy must have really wanted to see those ladies' cunts. Whoa! That's too much! We're talking about some adult situations here, but that's not how you use that word. Also, that's the first time I ever heard my mom swear. I never heard my mom say crap. I never heard my mom say damn. And then she comes out of the gate with a hard C describing a vagina, not using it the way most people use it, like an Irish person that's like cheeky, like, ah, you cunt, like that. Like, that I'm ready for in that scenario. But to have my mom call, I've never heard anybody call the thing that. And so I was like, Mom, don't swear. And she's like, oh, you're being a real pussy right now. So when my dad dies, my mom's gonna be real cool. I'm excited for it. There's also a part of me that thinks they use that word in the bedroom, and I'm not going there. But it's just, it's rattling around in my brain, because why else would she use that word? And that's the only thing that I can think of, and her just being like, come on, Jim, get in there. And I'm like, nope, no, I can't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, Sue. Yeah, that's her name, Sue. She likes when Jim fucks her cunt. I know! If I have to have it in my brain, I have to put it in your brains too. After the show, if you want, I'll show you a picture of them. I love my parents. They're getting older now. They're in their 70s, and they've been married for 47 years. All right? But I disagree. I don't think it's a good thing. Like, it's a long time, but they're not happy. Like, thanks. Guess the Bluetooth's been disconnected. But they're not happy. They're not, like, I think my dad's happier than my mom, because my dad, he's like blissfully unaware of how much my mom's done with him. And my mom is done with him to the point where whenever I talk to her, all she talks about is how excited she is for my dad to die. Like, she's not going to get a divorce. It's been 47 years. He's in his 70s. He has some health problems. Not enough. Like, he's not going to go soon, but he gets a lot of kidney stones. Like, he gets kidney stones like he's Thanos. Like, just collecting them. And but my mom, she over the summer, she called me and she's like, hey, Bill, when your dad dies, can we go to a baseball game? I was like, we can just go to a baseball game. And she's like, yeah, but it'd mean more to me if he was dead. Which she just wants them gone. And I love my mom. She loves hanging out with me and my siblings because we're not religious anymore. And her and my dad are still very religious. And so she likes to hang out with us and misbehave a little bit. Nothing crazy, just like she swore for the first time in front of me and my sister, and we weren't ready for it. Because hanging out with my mom is like hanging out with a kid that was homeschooled that's only going to senior year of high school, where they're just so awkward and they don't know how, like, social cues. They're like, hey, you want to come over to my house and we'll knit? Just get crazy? That's how my mom has fun. So maybe crochet, I don't know, we'll see what happens. So my mom was hanging out with me and my sister. We were watching the news, and a news story came on about a guy that put a camera in a bathroom. And the guy put the camera in the bathroom so he could watch and record ladies using the bathroom. And so this is like adult situations, adult content. And my mom saw this as an opportunity to swear in front of me and my sister for the first time. So I was like, hey, that's disgusting. I can't believe that guy did that. And my sister is very calm and measured. She's like, yeah, I got to make sure I check for cameras in bathrooms when I use public bathrooms. I'm like, that's a good idea. And then my mom wanted to take things up a notch and see what she could get away with in front of her kids. And she swore for the first time in front of me. And this is what she said. She said, that guy must have really wanted to see those ladies' cunts. Whoa! Whoa! That's not how you use that word. Like, if you want to call someone the C word, you like, it's like asshole, but I want to really make it sting. That's how, like, you're being a real cunt like that. Nobody calls the thing that. No one calls the apparatus that. Like, that's insane. And that's the first swear word I ever heard come out of my mom's mouth. So I was just like, Mom, don't swear. And she's like, you swear all the time. And I'm like, yeah, but not like that. And she's like, you're being a real pussy right now. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And she's like, don't take the Lord's name in vain. I'm like, this is so confusing right now. So I hated that. And the more I've thought about it and the more it's rattled around in my head, I think I have a reason why my mom uses that word, and I think it's because it's a sex word for my mom and my dad. I know, right? It's not even funny. It's terrible. But it's in my head, so I'm going to share it with you guys. My mom's name is Sue. My dad's name is Jim, and I think when they're having sex, they use that word to really... It's been 47 years, so they got to do something. And I don't think that generation chokes for love. I think they just choke to choke. So I think their dirty talk involves the C word, so I don't want to say it anybody. So if is anybody willing to say it? Oh, you'll say it? Okay, right here? Oh, right here, okay. When I point to you, you say it, okay? So I think what happens is my mom goes, whose cut is this? Oh, that's gross. Yeah. See why I don't want to say it? And then my dad goes, it's Jim's. Cut. Yeah. And I think that makes them both come real hard. And I'm never doing this joke again. I know, right? You see why I don't want to say it? I didn't know it was going to make somebody else feel that bad either, though. That's literally the first time I did that part of the joke, and it was awesome.
My mom's sick of them, so she comes out and like hangs with me. It's like we're religious, like they were. I'm not. They still are. And I'll hang out with my mom, and she likes to be around me because she can kind of misbehave. And she swore in front of me for the first time a few weeks ago, and I'm still kind of shaky from it because I've never heard my religious mother swear. I'm 42 years old. We were watching the news, and there's a story about a guy that put a camera in a bathroom so he could film women going to the bathroom. And I was like, man, that's really gross. Mom, make sure you check for cameras in bathrooms when you're in public. And she just replies and goes, yeah, that guy must have really wanted to see those ladies' cunts. That's not how you use that word. That, like, if you want to call someone an asshole and make it sting, then you bring out the C word. You don't use it for the thing. You don't use it for the apparatus. Like, that's crazy. Like that, you don't do that. And my mom she just yelled it. I don't know if she yelled it. It felt like she yelled it. And then I was like, Mom, don't swear. And she's like, you're being a real pussy right now. That's another one. I have a theory though. I have a theory why my mom uses that word for the thing. I need someone's help on this one. Yeah, that's not what she calls it. She calls it the other word. Don't worry about this. Are you afraid to say the C word? Okay, well I do actually use some power. When I point to you, can you yell the C word for me? Is your mom here? I don't know. Mine's not. Or I'd have her do it. So I'm going to explain my theory here, but when I point to you, you're going to have to yell it real loud, okay? You don't know if you can? What about you? You got me? Absolutely not? You got me? Finally, a woman with some balls. All right, so here's my theory. I think the reason my mom uses that word the way she does for the thing is that it is a sex word for my parents because I think it's their dirty talk word. Yeah, I'm not happy about it either. Because here's what I think. I think that they've been married for 47 years and they got to keep things spicy, and dirty talk is what they're doing because that generation doesn't choke for love. They choke to choke. So they're using some dirty talk, and so I think they're a situation where my dad will be like, whose is this? And my mom's like, it's Jim's. You did a fantastic job. Could have been a star. So I mentioned they were religious. I was raised Mormon. But whenever people found out I was Mormon as a kid, they'd always tease me like, oh, Bill, you're Mormon? How many wives do you have? And that hurt my feelings. And I started to cry and run home to my mom's. No, you just have I served a Mormon mission for 2 years in the Philippines, and while I was there, I learned a language that's useless to me now. It's Tagalog, and when I read that on a piece of paper, I'm like, oh, that's a Girl Scout cookie. This place is going to be delicious. And it was, and I'll get to that in a second. I was brand new in the country. I was walking down the street one day. This guy pulled a knife on me. He wasn't scary. He was Filipino. He was this big. It was a homemade knife. He wasn't good at his job. And I had this badass moment where I grabbed the knife out of his hand and I threw him on the ground and I yelled at him and I wanted to say something intimidating like, get away from me, you scumbag. But I didn't know the language that well, so instead I said, Mahal talaga nagasaki na ito, which basically means, these bananas are too expensive. I still said it a badass way. That was just the most aggressive phrase that I knew at the time. So I did the whole Mormon mission thing to make my parents happy, and I was miserable because Mormons are strict. When you're a missionary, extra strict. You can't watch TV, you can't listen to music, you can't go see movies. And I started to break those rules by drinking alcohol and going to strip clubs. The first time I go to one, it's me and 2 other missionaries that I corrupted. And And we go in, and we're the only Americans in the whole place, and all the girls are trying their best to get our attention. And one girl comes out, takes off all her clothes, takes a piece of ice out of the bucket, rubs it on her. And then dropped it into my beer. Yeah. So I accidentally spilled that on purpose, because you're not even supposed to drink the water over there. Long story short, I hooked up with a whole bunch of Filipinas, got caught, was excommunicated from the Mormon church, and may or may not have between like 1 and 15 illegitimate children up there. And chances are they made some of the clothes we're wearing tonight. Fuck you, they're my kids. They're gonna work, alright? They're not gonna be lazy and spoiled like American kids. I want an iPhone. Make it.
And my mom is also very religious, but she likes to hang out with me so she can not be as religious. Just little things, like she swore in front of me for the first time, and it was a lot because she didn't do it right. She went way too hard. We were watching the news, and there's a story about a guy that put a camera in a bathroom so he could film women going to the bathroom. And I was like, whoa, Mom, make sure you check for cameras in bathrooms when you use public restrooms. And my mom just goes, yeah, that guy must have really wanted to see those ladies' cunts. Whoa! That's not how you use that word. Like you use it to call something, like if someone's an asshole but you want to take it up a notch, that's when you bring out the C word. You don't call the thing that. You don't use that word for the apparatus. Like, that's insane. So I was like, Mom, don't swear. And she's like, you're being a real pussy right now. And I was like, well, at least that's a little better. And I have a theory as to why my mom uses that word the way she does. I think my parents have been together for 47 years, and for them to enjoy being with each other physically, they do dirty talk. Yeah. Because that generation doesn't choke for love, they choke to choke. So I think they talk dirty to each other, and I think that's one of the words they use when they're intimate. And I'm going to need somebody's help. You're a nice lady. Are you comfortable yelling? You look like you're with your parents. I'm going to ask somebody else. Hey, Mom, would you like to... Can you yell the C word as loud as you can when I point to you?
No.
She's got it. It's Mother's Day on Sunday. You let her live her life. So I think what happens is when my parents are intimate, my dad will say something like, who's
Cut!
And then my mom's like, it's Jim's. I love live comedy. Like, this is so good. Oh. Well, my mom says it too, so don't feel... She did swear in front of me for the first time the other day, and that was alarming, because I've never heard my mom swear. We were watching TV, and there's a story on the news about a guy that put a camera in a public restroom so he could film ladies going to the restroom. And I was like, whoa, Mom, if you go to public restrooms, make sure you check for cameras. And then my mom goes, yeah, that guy must have really wanted to see those ladies' cunts. That is not how we use that word in America. We don't...
Like if you want to call someone an asshole and take it to another level, then you can use that word. But you don't call the thing that, right? Like that's wild. Like you ladies, you don't have to show your hands, but you've never had like been like, yeah, it's my. No one does that. It's his little itchy. Like there's no one saying it that way. It's insane. And I was like, Mom, don't use that word. And she's like, you're being a real pussy right now. I'm like, well, that's a little better, I think. I don't know. And now I have a theory. I think I know why my mom uses that word. I think it's a sex word for my parents. Yeah. Let me walk you through this. They've been together for 47 years. They're not going to cheat on each other. They're not going to step out, and they don't do kinky stuff like choking. That's new. Their generation, they choke because they mean it. It's not an affection thing. So I think they do dirty talk, and I think they use the C word. And who's the sign language interpreter? You are? You both are?
Yes.
Does one of you want to help me out?
Yes. No.
I'm going to have you say a word in sign language.
Okay.
Can you guess which one it is?
Vagina? Cunt?
Yeah. Is it the same?
It means the same thing, you know?
Just so, wait, this is vagina and cunt?
Yeah, I mean, I think it means the same thing, maybe?
Oh, she's not very good at her job. All right, can you just yell the C word for me? Because I don't want to say it.
Cunt!
Well, I'll tell you when. I'm not my dad, all right? That doesn't do anything for me. I'm going to explain how they have sex together, and then when I point to you, just yell it. Okay, so. But you do take directions quite well. So what I think happens is when my parents are doing it, my mom and dad will be talking dirty, and my dad will say something like, "Whose
Cunt!
is this?" And then my mom will say, "It's Jim's."
Cunt!
You say it like you found one. And everybody, oh, cunt, got it. Like you got bingo. Oh, I got the T, cut. So there's not a way to make it like more of a swear word. It's like just with your emphasis.
Yeah,
So like,
it's all facial expression.
oh, it's all facial. So if you do this, it's like vagina. But if you do this, you're like. That's good to know.